This is special because we're actually live again on location. So we're at the Toledo Rep, sitting here. There should be some Christmas music playing in the background. They may have turned it down so low we can't hear it. So you're going to hear some rattling in the background.
That doesn't mean you should sing.
I know,
Kyle.
but I really always want to.
I know.
Always. And without that
you
music.
should.
Well, I know. And without that music playing, I don't know exactly which song I should sing. Santa on his way.
No. Sing a solo. Solo. We don't hear it.
Oh.
Ouch.
But a punch.
See, but we have Scrooge with us.
Well, there's two Scrooges here. But,
Oh, yeah.
since I told you not to sing Christmas carols.
Yeah, lump of coal for you, Tom. Exactly. So we have Paul. He plays Scrooge. He's been playing Scrooge for a while now, obviously.
Yeah.
How many years did you say you?
This is my 19th.
19th.
Yeah.
Okay. So before we even get started, I brought you a gift.
You did?
I did. Right here it is.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
I'm going to get up and I'm going to give you this present.
You are?
Here,
So that means I have to talk.
make some rustling sound so people can hear that I brought you something.
Oh, my gosh. Look, there's...
I'm going to reach across.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
He
Because
has to open
Am I
it.
allowed to open it
yes,
now?
open it right now. Absolutely.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my
See what
gosh. I think I love you.
See?
You remembered.
That is.
It's my favorite. I can't believe it.
Well, that's a homemade one too. I made that. That is my version. So it is
yeah,
for
okay,
people who can't see
excellent.
what I got him. I got him a bullet rye Manhattan that I made. So it's already all
It's
pre-made.
already
all
pre-made?
pre-made, and I jammed some cherries in there too.
Oh, my God. You do. There's cherries in
Yeah, I jammed them in there because
Wow.
Christmas red.
Thank
so,
you.
And
Manhattan
then
is my favorite.
I
drink.
know, because we were supposed to go have some, and we
Right.
never got a chance to do it.
Well, these would be
so
much better,
there you
and
go.
we
So this
will
is
go-
us having a Manhattan right now.
Right. We could do that now, and I could, never make it through
I was
rehearsal.
going to say, at rehearsal, you might want to hold off on that just a little bit.
So although the bottle just says it's just the bullet rye, it's actually the whole damn thing mixed together. So.
Looks
Oh
like
my
cough
gosh,
syrup.
that is just amazing. Yeah, I see the cherries at the bottom. That's
And I
really
have
nice.
drank
Thank
my
you.
own stuff before, and I gotta say it's kick ass.
Really?
Yes,
I
you
bet
would.
it is. I bet it is.
And there's enough in there. Obviously, you can't drink all that yourself, so you got to drink it with somebody.
right,
You know,
right,
do the
yeah.
holiday spirit.
Right. Oh,
There you go.
good. Yeah, sure. Share. 'cause it is
There's
the
no way
holiday
of
spirit.
being Scrooge if you drink
Bah,
that.
humbug. I'm drinking the whole thing by myself.
See, Okay, so now let's move on here.
All right.
So Christmas Carol, that's why we're here. We're
Yes.
talking about this. 19 years you've been Scrooge.
Yes.
And we had to have it on, obviously, because it's the Christmas Carol with the Toledo Rep, and it's a Toledo tradition.
It is
Yes.
a tradition.
It is. I hope. Yes, absolutely. We've been doing it. This is the 36th anniversary. So, yeah. Now, last year was a little bit different because we couldn't have in-person performances because of the pandemic. But, I mean, we still did a 35th anniversary DVD and had a lot of fun doing it and putting it together. We used a lot of old footage from shows all the way back into the 1980s. And then kind of tied all that together with small scenes.
The
you know.
80s. They had recording devices in the 80s?
That, yeah,
What they have? They had like
they were very primitive.
somebody, yeah.
Actually, I think
Cave
my first
paintings.
copy of this is a Betamax copy.
Get the hell out of it, Betamax. Oh, as I just said on the last one,
Get
we were on,
that
I said,
transferred
thank
soon."
Goodness, yeah. Thank goodness old people listen to this podcast because the newer generation have no idea.
You know, the sad part
No,
is
no.
DVDs are considered old now.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Well, they couldn't
So-
even tell you like a Betamax. What is that? Didn't they make a movie with that from Disney? Wasn't that the big blow up white thing, Betamax or what his name was? It's like that's all they would think it is. They would have no idea. But they actually had some stuff you could compile together, so that's awesome.
Yeah. So, and they did. They switched it over to digital, and it was fun. It was fun putting it together.
Fun because you didn't have to actually do anything last year.
Right.
Is that
Yeah,
why?
exactly. I sat back and watched. it.
Didn't have to remember any lines at all. It was
Well,
great.
no, what we did is we took like small scenes like the counting house scene and then we taped those. We actually did taping,
Oh, okay.
live taping of Is that a thing? Live taping? We're doing live taping.
Live
now,
taping,
right?
yes.
That's what we're doing now.
We did,
yeah, really.
right. Yeah. So we did, live for that. We taped, small
Cool.
scenes.
So you did actually splice in some new stuff.
That's how we kind of held the story together. And then we went to the big choral scenes and dancing and singing. And then from different years, and, whatever year would come up, it would show the year on the screen. This is from 1997. And it was fun. You get to see a lot of people,
So did you start off and you were 20 years younger in the show, and then 20 years later it's you again?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I got to go get this DVD.
Yeah. Well, and then I directed it back in the 80s. So, yeah. So I've been here quite a while. I mean, we have Matthew, Boland, who you're going to talk to, I hope, because he's wonderful. And he played Tiny Tim for me clear back in the 1980s. So,
And now he's
Bob Cratchit.
how nice.
We won't even have to have Matthew on now. You already gave it
nice.
away.
Did I give it away? Should I not?
Oh,
you
yeah.
could cut that out.
I'll cut it all
You
out.
cut
Yeah,
that
no, that's
off.
fine.
Yeah.
He'll have more to say about himself, I'm sure, because you are actors and you do
Right.
like the center of attention.
Do you?
Could you tell?
You've been doing this for 19 years. Do you specifically try and go out of your way to do something different or new every year, or do you just try and keep it the same every year?
No, it's different every year. I mean, it has to be. You're not the same person this year that you were last year or the year before, and I certainly am not the same as I was 20 years ago.
Can you give me an idea of something you've done like early on that you totally don't do now, or that you've changed, or
Right. Well, for instance, a really good example of that is we have not been in this house, the 10th Street Theater, the Toledo Rep, for 30 years. So this show has gone to the Stranahan, the Peristyle, most recently the Valentine Theater. And for this year, we're back at the 10th Street Theater. So
I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that.
It's
cool.
changing in a big way this year.
I had been sitting there in the Valentine,
Yeah.
and nobody would come out. I had to
Just
become
me-
That
Scrooge.
would be so sad.
I- it would be.
Me and Tom would be sitting there like, when the hell?
Here, I'll bring this along.
Then it won't be all lost.
Holding up his Manhattan there. Yeah, everything feels better with the Manhattan.
Yes, it
So
does.
even sitting lonely by yourself in the Valentine Theater. So
So what is the difference of this theater?
Well, this theater is about 180 seats, and that theater is 900. So it's a big difference. The Stranahan's about 2,400 seats. The Peristyle is about 1,400. So each of them has different requirements, But this is wonderful because it's intimate.
Yeah.
People are up close, and so I can kind of redo the way that I'm doing Scrooge because I don't have to work for way back in the back of the balcony. I'm like you guys, the audience right here. I'm close to you, and so it's a whole different way of doing it. It's exciting.
Yeah,
so
front row at the 10th Street stage here. You're going to be 5 feet from them.
Right.
You're gonna be, and literally right in their faces.
Yeah, don't sit in the front row because I tend to spit when I talk. But
The splash zone right there.
yeah, there's a
Bring a shield. Bring a guard.
right. Or what Gallagher did? He
Yeah.
have
The garbage bags.
The garbage bags.
Yeah,
People
that's
would hold
it. That's
up.
what I'll do. I'll show up,
Come
look
there.
like that.
Thank you. I'll know exactly who it is with the garbage.
Completely
Kyle
distracting.
will have it over his whole head and won't be able to see the show. That's
Yeah, let's see Paul try not to break character now.
So if this is that small of a place, basically get your tickets.
Yes.
Quickly.
Yeah, you're going to need to get your tickets.
More shows? Are they going to do more shows?
Yes,
then?
there'll be
Okay,
more
all right.
shows. Yeah. So
That's good though. But I do like this idea then. So, I mean, I'm going to miss the Valentine though too.
I am too. I love the Valentine, and the Valentine's a great place to
Yeah, it's
do a
beautiful.
play. It's a great place to work.
Yeah.
It really is. But this also has its
Yeah.
advantages, and the audience, I think, will really like it because they will be up close and they will be able to see pretty clearly what's going on.
Sets are going to have to change, obviously.
Sets have to change.
Yeah, and
This
then
week.
the cast number probably is different as well.
Yeah, the cast number's a little bit smaller than usual, but that's.
But you still love being Scrooge
I still love being Scrooge. I do.
because you get to be mean. That's the part you like
Right,
the most.
exactly. Yeah, I mean,
He doesn't
you know,
seem like a Scrooge.
I know.
He seems awful nice.
He can
Well-
turn it on. Have you seen the show? He's frightening.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
don't ruin it for me.
Oh, sorry.
I do.
There's
I
three
like
ghosts.
to do it. It's my big chance to be mean. No, you know what the show, the play, the words, the character, they're just so rich that no matter what point, you are in Scrooge's trajectory, as he's on his way to redemption, it's just wonderful to play. It's wonderful to get to speak those words and to work through those transitions and whatnot. So it's a lot of fun for me. I like it, yeah.
And then, of course, you've done it for so long. You mentioned this before in our previous podcast, just the growth of everybody and how it's such a family.
It is. It really is. I mean, it started off that way back in the 80s, and we had people who grew up in it and are in it today, and we had people who grew up in it, had kids, and the kids are in it. So it's really a wonderful thing. I mean, it's great to come back to every year and see people, get to see new people too, and they become a part of the whole Christmas Carol family. But that's the best, man. I mean, it's like a reunion.
The best. Go ahead, Tom.
You've been Scrooge for 19 years. Have you ever played another part in this?
In this?
Yeah. In this
Well,
play?
actually, I did. One year back in, I don't know, it was in the 80s. One of the charwomen couldn't make it for the show. It's a short scene where it takes place in the future, where the charwoman comes in and is stealing Scrooge's things, and she couldn't make it to the show, so I donned her costume.
No way, you
Yes, I
did not.
Yes, I did.
Nobody knew?
Oh, I didn't tell anybody. So the kids wouldn't know, because we had a lot of kids in the show. And so as soon as I went out there, I could look off the wings and see all the kids right behind the curtains,
my
looking and
gosh.
pointing and laughing. It was, it was just for fun. But
And you were still Scrooge that year also?
no,
Oh,
back
okay.
in
I was
those
going to
years,
say, that'd be
used
real
to,
tricky.
Yeah, no, back in those years, I used to direct it.
Gotcha,
Oh,
gotcha.
so
Yeah.
the directors. Oh,
yeah,
look at that. There
yeah.
you
I
go.
played Scrooge once back then when the fellow, a wonderful actor, very talented guy, John Hallower, he's may rest in peace. He was playing Scrooge and he got very ill and he couldn't do it, so I stepped in. But I was, I was under 30 years old at the time, so it was really.
So you were very young.
I was,
Scrooge,
yeah, I was, yeah.
See, what I find cool and what this is all about being on stage doors, I'm a big fan, obviously, of all this stuff. But I saw you when I came up here for college. And so I saw you on stage.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, and then as I got older and I got married and had kids, and my kids were in the show, and my wife
see?
was in the show, and now I'm in a podcast, and I'm giving you Manhattans.
Oh, I love that.
I think there's a circle there, the circle of life of something there.
So if you would have told me way back when I was in college and I saw this guy on stage and with my then girlfriend, I was like, damn, that guy's pretty good. That's
think
pretty
that-
good.
I think I'm
I think I'm going to get him a Manhattan in 20 years.
Yeah. For me, it's the show kind of kicks off the season, and I think for the Rep, it feels like our gift. It feels like a gift to Toledo that, we're kind of presenting this every year, and people get a chance to hear these songs, these Christmas carols, and see this story and enjoy it and whatnot. And it's great to be involved in that. It's a great feeling, and I love the people I work with. So, yeah, I can't say enough about it. Come buy tickets and see it. You'll be a fan.
Can we ask for a bah humbug?
Oh, I do bah humbugs all the time. Actually, I do them all year long.
So you've been practicing since
At work, I do them all the time.
I think through the year of COVID, we all were bah humbugging.
Yeah. Bah humbug.
That's worth coming
Beautiful.
to see it right there.
You're the nicest guy.
Don't share that with anybody, okay?
Okay.
It's just because actually
ruins
I
the
am
image.
known for my generosity. I think they call me that. Generous Kyle, who's also a little fat, which I don't understand why they add that last part. I feel like it's completely doesn't
That's
connect.
irrelevant.
Doesn't
And not
connect.
true.
Doesn't connect to the other part at all. So I don't know why they say that, but it's whatever.
I
you
work
want
with
to-
them. I don't get the generosity part.
No.
How many gifts have I given you, Tom? Exactly.
I don't even get the cherry at the bottom of the bottle.
Oh, you're welcome
get
to
the
have any
stem.
drink you want when you come over.
This is true. He
There
has
you go.
offered me many
and I have
drinks.
offered for you to come over sometime, anytime you want to come see the Buckeyes play too.
Oh.
Anytime.
I will also accept any Bullet Rye Manhattan gifts that you have to offer.
Absolutely.
I see no bag in front of me.
See no bag. I'm sorry.
I'm disappointed, but it's okay. Let's
Paul
go on.
was like our first reoccurring guest on the show, so he's the very first one, and we were just supposed to go have drinks, and we just couldn't find the time, so here we are now.
Yeah.
So Matthew is with us, and he is playing Bob Cratchit.
Yes.
Is this your first year doing this?
No. So I have a very interesting history with this
Oh.
production. I, in this very theater, played Tiny Tim in 1987, 1988, and 1989 when
Wow.
Paul was the artistic director and directed me as Tiny Tim.
Okay, so hold up here.
Yeah.
3 years of Tiny Tim, so
Yes.
you just didn't grow? I mean, what's going on there?
I started when I was 9
Mm-hmm.
and played it from ages 9 to 11, and I was very, very, very little.
Yeah.
So then, 32 years later, back into.
And now you're like 6'1".
Yes.
What the
yeah.
heck?
Yeah. So 32. It's been 32 years since the show has been back on this stage, and I was the last Tiny Tim on the stage. So now to return.
Wait,
to
32.
this-
Are we doing the math right here? So you're how old then?
I'm 43.
That's what I'm like. You don't
yeah.
look 43,
yeah, I'm 43
at all.
Yeah, I
No.
moisturize and stay
All
out
right,
of the sun.
this is ridiculous because you're only like 5
You
years
look that old
younger
because
than
you
me.
do drink all those Manhattans.
Yes,
might be the
exactly. Yes,
case.
I'm very well preserved.
My liver's well preserved.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, I mean
Pickled it.
the importance of this is, or the
coolness.
the coolness of this is just not lost on me, and now to be playing opposite Paul
Oh my
in this
gosh.
role is just something incredibly special. And then I did it 2 more years after it left this theater. When they revamped the show, they created a role that was called Young Ebenezer, which was kind of in between
Yes.
the really little Scrooge
Yes.
and the older Scrooge. So I played that for 1 year, and then I believe it was a couple years after that I kind of grew into the role of young Scrooge. But I haven't been back to Christmas Carol since then, and that was probably mid to late 90s.
So did they cut that out originally in the show, The Young Ebony? Because that's part of the show. I mean, it's not like invented. I mean, that's part if you watch like the movies and stuff that's in there. where
Yeah.
you flashback to when he's in school and everything.
It was actually in between that stage. So that little Scrooge and then the one that is engaged to Belle, it was an in-between.
Oh, so they
where
did
basically-
really make one up.
Yeah, and it
Gotcha.
was kind of when he started to become an apprentice, but I don't really remember because it was just such a long time ago.
So not 10-year-old Scrooge and not 20-year-old Scrooge.
But in between.
Like
Yes.
17-year-old Scrooge.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you played that.
Yes, and then I
Gotcha.
played young Scrooge that is engaged to Belle 1 year. But
Wow,
yeah.
you played all the stuff then.
Yeah,
Now next
yeah.
up is Scrooge.
Oh my gosh, people keep saying that that's just I don't know.
But Bob Cratchit obviously
Yeah,
is the first
yeah,
one. So
yeah.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So
it's amazing.
So Bob is important in the show, right?
Yeah, I mean,
We're gonna ruin it for everybody. So go ahead, tell us what is so great about Bob.
the thing that I think is so great about Bob is he is the exact opposite or the antithesis of Scrooge. So where Scrooge doesn't care about Christmas, doesn't care about family, doesn't care about the things that bring joy and warmth to the soul, Bob Cratchit is the exact opposite. He brings light, he brings love. Even though he doesn't have much, he gives everything of himself to his family. He loves them, even though he is dealing with a very difficult employer. He still finds a way to work and deal with it for the good of his family. He's the kind of person that puts everybody else before himself, and I think that's a good quality to see in a character, especially when you see someone like Scrooge, who is so exactly the opposite.
And he was once played by Mickey.
Exactly, yes.
yes,
And Kermit. We
and
cannot forget about
Kermit.
Kermit.
No,
yes.
no, I own that.
No.
I
So,
own the
I
Muppets.
No, I've got
Christmas.
some small shoes to fill there.
Mickey, Kermit, Matt.
Right.
Actually, I should go the other way. Matt's the top.
Yeah. So,
I just think it is pretty cool though that you were once Tiny Tim for 3 years and now you're going to be Bob Cratchit.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I was just telling Paul that I thought it was cool that I saw him when I was in college 20 years ago, and then I'm giving him Manhattan drinks, and you one up me.
well, it's
So,
funny because I
not
just heard
cool.
him telling that story about playing that one performance as the charwoman, and I distinctly remember that because my mom used to help out with props downstairs with the show, and she was one of the first people to see Paul dressed up in that dress and everything, and I just remember her laughing hysterically, and I didn't really understand what was going on. Then it was like, oh my gosh, that's great.
He's going out
that's
there and doing that.
One of those memories I really have.
You know, Bob
Yes.
Cratchit should have drank.
Yes.
I mean, he had a rough time with it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they probably could have afforded it back then.
Right, that was a luxury
This
item.
is true.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
Bummer.
And so what I also find interesting is how you sat there and said all these deep thoughts about the character of Bob Cratchit, and I've never once thought that deeply about Bob Cratchit. Have you, Tom?
Yeah, watch the Mickey version.
Well, and I think one of the reasons that it kind of comes so easily to me is, the 3 years that I was Tiny Tim, I had two gentlemen that played my father, Bob Cratchit, and they were incredibly loving and caring men. The first year it was David Chevalier, who tragically passed away of AIDS in the late 80s, and then the second year was, I don't remember his last name, but a gentleman by the name of Chuck. And I just remember them being so loving and kind to not only me, but also the other actors, child actors playing my siblings. And we really felt like a real family. And coming into this role, that's the one thing that's been really important to me, is forming a bond with these young actors and Renee, who plays my wife, and just really giving them that same experience that I had growing up in the show, because it's something that has stuck with me for such a long time, and it's really made me feel so happy coming back into the show and being able to do that or embody that for other actors.
Like returning to your families.
Yeah,
which you did,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So other people leave also.
Yeah.
And you see them at other times and say, this person used to be part of my family.
Yeah,
part
exactly.
of the Christmas Carol family.
Exactly.
How nice.
Yeah, and as obviously they picked the right person for this then. So somebody who can connect very closely, and you had this wonderful connection with your family in the show. You remember their names.
Mm-hmm.
That was,
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy to me. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it shouldn't be that crazy, but it's crazy to me because you were little.
Yeah.
It's not like you were 20 and it's like, oh, no big deal, I can remember their names. But you were just like a tiny kid who was like, but they embedded on you so strongly, that family. And not only that, but also obviously a love for theater and all that as well.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the funny thing is that a lot of these memories have been flooding back to me while we've been in the rehearsal process. And I mean, I'm sure Paul tells the story much better than I do, but when I was before he cast me in the role, he talked to my parents just to make sure that they would be okay with me being in the show, just because I was so little and I was so quiet and I was so shy. I was a really tremendously shy child, and it was them putting me into theater classes here at the Toledo Rep that really I was able to find myself, find my voice, and it was kind of the magic pill, so to speak, that kind of brought me out of my shell and connected me with other people, and having someone like Paul. It was only the second show I ever did. The first show I did was Peter Pan playing Michael Darling in Genoa at the Genoa Civic Theater, but having someone like Paul being so kind and just hands-on in helping me understand what it was to be a young actor and the importance of the role, I mean, those are things that I've carried with me throughout my entire life, and just to be acting opposite him back on the stage in the show is just, it just feels like a dream. It feels like a really good dream.
He's really not a Scrooge, is he?
He's not.
No.
He's not. He's a tremendous actor.
And you know
that
what?
plays
Yeah,
a good job
yeah.
of. But yeah, he's.
And now, great, I do like this guy. Now I do feel like a dick now bringing him up to Manhattan. So,
Oh, you got all sorts of shows. You can bring one to one of the shows.
but this is the first time I met you, though. Are you from the area then? Still, you staying in the area? You just stopping
Yeah,
by?
so I grew up in Genoa.
Right.
I went to Genoa High School. I graduated from the University of Toledo. I've stayed in the area my entire life. I've been doing theater my entire life. It's been 10 years since I've actually been in a show as
So
an
I
actor.
expect to see you more then.
Maybe, but I do more directing now. So I direct up at the Croswell. I've directed here at the Toledo Rep.
Wow.
That I've kind of graduated from acting to directing. There are certain things that I would still like to do as an actor, but I really like directing because I like seeing the whole process from beginning to end and watching a cast grow and building that team atmosphere and sharing a common goal. It's something I just really enjoy doing.
Now, how many years ago was it you played Tiny Tim again?
32.
All right, give us the line.
God bless us, everyone.
He sounds the same, I'm sure, exactly.
We're gonna make everybody do their lines in here. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Does Bob Cratchit have a line?
Did I just ruin the end of the show?
No, we say it earlier, so it's fine.
Okay, that's
It's
good.
fine,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, does Bob Cratchit have a line in the show at all? Yeah.
He says "sir" a lot to
Sir.
Scrooge. Yeah, so he says "sir" a lot. But no, there's really not any one line that I guess is epitomizes the character. So
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Cool.
Well,
It
he
was
has,
great.
to, has to put up with his whiny wife.
I think you're thinking of Miss Piggy. I think from this.
Okay. I'm
oh
on the
my
wrong one
goodness,
again.
yes. Oh yeah, I forgot about Miss Piggy.
Miss
yeah.
Piggy was pretty unbearable.
Yeah.
Oh well, it was great having you on, man.
Yes, thank you so much.
No, thank you for doing this, and I'll be here, and we'll be watching you, and I can't wait to hit my wife and say, hey, you know, this guy actually played
Yeah.
this other character too. So.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Okay, so this is pretty sweet. So, how many years have you been directing the show?
Well, I did this in 2019. And then, of course, COVID hit. And so we thought we were going to do the show. And then we decided we were going to do a video. And I
Right.
got started in the video. And then my husband got very sick.
Oh.
Not with COVID.
Oh,
No, did not have COVID. But anyway, so he was in the hospital for a long time. During the time that we were in production, and so now I've come back to it this year.
so how did you become the director?
Oh, how did I become-
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah. I mean,
How did I do
again, I can't
this?
just walk in and become the Christmas
Carol
Toledo Rep's
director?
Christmas, yeah. And this is- they don't just give it to
So-
anybody. So how'd you get picked?
So, actually, I'm from Adrian, and I've done things at the Crosswell for years and years and years and years. And Deb Calabrese has started to direct at the Crosswell, and she and I were working on a project together. We did the music of Andrew Lloyd Webber in 2019, and she had of course been directing Christmas Carol for years and years, and had stopped directing Christmas Carol, and they had come to her and say, "Who do you think could do it?" And so she was working with Paul, trying to figure out who was
That's
going
when
to do
she
it.
should have said Kyle Omler.
Oh,
He's the
there you
man.
go.
You should have him, but she didn't think of me
She
at all.
didn't think of you at all. I'm sorry.
She wants
didn't.
it to work.
Oh, she wants it to be good.
Anyway,
much.
so she looked at me one day. We were talking about Weber, and she looked at me, and all of a sudden she said, "Would you do Christmas Carol?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, I would do Christmas Carol." Well, she was already supposed to be directing the Christmas show at the Crosswell. And so for years, I directed the Christmas show at the Crosswell. So now she goes in one direction. She's doing Christmas Story right now.
Yeah.
And I'm going in the other direction. I'm doing Christmas Carol.
So you guys
anyway,
just traded
we just
trading
traded
places,
spots.
huh?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
But
just
anyway.
like the movie.
Just like
You and
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. Thank you. Just
All right,
switched
there you
places,
go.
did you? Yeah.
there you go. Yeah. So
I was gonna say Bill Murray. Could not think of who it was. Tom saved the day.
Dan Aykroyd too. Anyway, what else have you directed prior to this?
Oh, I've been directing. I'm old. I've been directing a really long time.
You're not
Stand in
38
line.
like the guy who's playing Bob Cratchit.
No, I'm not. No, I am not 38. I directed high school shows. I directed at the Westgate Dinner Theater when
Oh,
that was
wow.
around. The last thing I did was Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I was the vocal director there at the Crosswell just a couple months ago. I've probably directed, 30, 40 shows.
It makes you feel better. I've been to the Westgate Theater
Oh,
to see a
okay.
show, so
All right.
I guess I'm old too.
There you go. See, there
And
you
I'm over here like, huh?
and it was
I
fun.
felt
We
young
had a
all of a
good
sudden.
time.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. So-
Westgate Dinner Theater. I actually did hear it by doing this podcast, so
Oh, there you go.
I can't pretend like I don't know. Ron brought it up, and I was like, "What? There was a paid actor plays? I never heard of it before, but now we know."
Well, and my husband is a professional actor, and so actually years ago, with in the 80s, oh boy, the Croswell was doing Amadeus, and the Rep was doing the Amadeus at the same time, and so the Croswell decided to have a Toledo actor, Mark Standriff, play Salieri, and then Paul Cosman decided to have my husband, the Adrian actor, play Salieri. So that was, so we've known Paul for years.
Mark,
so.
Mark was a local radio DJ.
Yeah,
by the
he
way.
was.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, this is eons ago.
this is
Eons.
great. This is great.
Yeah, we're
like,
teaching Kyle
drop-
stuff here right now.
Oh,
Yes.
We'll talk. We'll just
Dinner
catch
theaters.
him up in a minute.
yeah,
He's
dinner
done-
theaters and radio DJs
Jays.
and oh my.
Don't put a bear in it. But anyway, okay. So
But Christmas stuff, obviously. So you've been doing a lot of Christmas stuff up at the Adrian at the Croswell, but now you've come down here, so you must not be a Scrooge either then.
no, but but what I love about doing this is that it's a play with music.
Ah, yes.
And so many times I am doing musicals, which is a whole different thing. You got to, everything's a rhythm. You got to keep it going, and nobody gets into character too deeply because sometimes some shows, but a lot of times, you just got to get on to the next tap number, This thing is different and because it's a play. And then we have these really incredible actors and it's fun. And I get to really use my, directing chops.
I
to
guess
think
it is
about
a play, but I never thought of it that way because there is music in it.
Right.
I mean, there's at least the Ghost of Christmas Past sings a song, and the Cratchit sings some songs. How many songs are in this show? Do you have any idea?
Oh, I don't know.
See, and I've always thought
10,
of it as a
12,
play
15.
because of the book.
Right,
You
right.
know.
And most people that do Christmas Carol, it is a play.
Without any singing? at
Without
all?
any singing.
Oh, no, I don't like that.
Well, they did. Years ago they decided that they needed the carolers to cover the scene
Yeah,
changes.
that's a great
And
idea.
so that was what started it, and then it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. But at the end of the day, it's a play with music.
Yeah.
And I love that. And then I love the traditional hymns too.
Yes.
I get a little
The
tired.
Holly and the Ivy. Bring
right.
it on, man. I love that song.
I am a little tired of All I Want for Christmas Is You. I just really, all I want. I'm tired of that.
Yeah.
So I love that we get to do all this old music and it's beautiful.
I just heard the Elton John Christmas song for like the 20th time already, and it's day what?
Right.
No, thank you.
Right, exactly.
And it can't be real tough producing a show with a guy that's played Scrooge a few times before.
Well, he makes it easy,
Yeah,
yes. But this year, so apparently they did it here first until 1989, and then they took it to the museum, to the Peristyle, and then somebody gave them a lot of money, and they got this big set, and they were doing it at the Stranahan, and then we were doing it at the Valentine. It's a whole different ball game this year, because normally we would have about 70 people in the cast, half of whom would be children.
Yeah.
Because of COVID, we don't have anyone under the age of 12.
Oh, see, didn't think about that either.
Yeah,
Wow,
That's a huge hit.
So Tiny Tim is really Mid Tim, but we tease him all the time.
That's the best
Who
line
is
we
playing
did all the
Tiny
time.
Tim? Yeah.
Chase is, and Chase wanted to be.
Chase what? Chase
Oh
what?
gosh, don't ask me.
Oh,
last
no.
name. I'm terrible with last
Okay,
names.
middle-sized Tim
Middle-sized
is
Tim.
Chase.
Chase.
Gotcha.
Chase.
Plays linebacker for what high school?
Yeah, right. No, he's 12. He's 12. He's our youngest member.
Okay.
But 2 years ago, he wanted to be Tiny Tim, but he was a little too healthy looking.
Oh,
So
so he starved for the role?
no, he didn't get it last time, but now he's it. And he's like,
Now,
I
yeah.
don't know. Now I'm 12. I don't know. But anyway, no, he's doing a great job.
Has he got a nice high voice still? Or
His
okay,
voice
so
is
he's
not
not going to
changed.
break right halfway
No,
through and
he's
be
not.
like,
He's not going to be
he's like,
singing
be like,
bass
"God
anytime
bless
soon.
us, everyone.
Good.
That's not going to happen.
Which could happen, but no,
So
I told him he couldn't grow.
So having someone like Paul, does it give you a chance to kind of watch the others a little closer? Because
Yes.
you don't have to really concentrate
point.
on him.
Good
Well,
point.
again, this year's like a complete change because of COVID. Because we didn't do it last year, we only did the video, and because we only needed 30 some people in the cast, not 70 people. A lot of the veterans didn't come out this year. They knew that there was a whole group of people that had been doing the show for many years that liked the idea of coming out, singing the songs, and then going downstairs to the Valentine and relaxing while they were doing the stuff upstairs. Well, there's no room, no ability to do that. And so we have some very veteran actors, and then we have a whole lot of new people. So it's really a new show. Good. So we've had to really spend time, explaining and talking about characterization. And so Paul's been a great example, kind of a mentor to
Yeah,
a lot of
role
people.
model of everybody.
Role model,
yeah, see, so this is getting me juiced up because I thought it was going to be at the Valentine. I thought it was going to be a show similar to what 2019 was
Right,
Valentine, right?
right.
So now it's completely different. I've
Completely
never
different.
seen A Christmas Carol in all my years here, obviously, and knowing like the grandiose nature that the show has been in the past, I'm excited to see how they're going to put it on the smaller stage in a more intimate setting.
Well, and the point is that what Scrooge goes through is really a very intimate thing.
True.
And so when you are on the Valentine, there's a tendency to, I'm going to talk loud and big.
Right.
I'm going to be very presentational, Well, we don't need to do that. And so suddenly these lines take on all sorts of new meanings. And what they're doing with them, every one of the scenes has changed. And every one of the scenes has grown. And that's exciting. And now we can look at it and say, well, really, what are we saying here? What do we want to say here? What is the scene about? Because we don't have to play it big. And so I think the audience is going to be very surprised. I think it's going to actually touch them more than it normally would.
And we're in the back of the theater right now, and I can hear Paul talking right now.
Right.
Yeah, keep it down, Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
No. But you had that big Fezziwig scene.
Yep.
Fozziwig's the Muppets.
Fuzzy.
We'll just go with Fozziwig's in
We
my
had the
head.
Fezziwig scene.
Yeah, the
Yep.
big Fozziwig scene.
Yep.
Like that's all going to be in here
Yep.
then too, right?
Yep.
So I know that was like a big number, obviously.
It's a big
with
number
tons of
still.
dancers and it's a big.
Okay.
Okay.
So we still, we don't have. You can't have 12 couples on stage, but you can have 7 couples on stage.
I was going to say 6 would fill that stage
right,
beautifully.
Right. So we still have the waltzers.
Beautiful.
We still have the Christmas past people
yes.
dancing. We still have all of that. We still have the parade, but we don't have a parade of children. And we have to double cast some things.
That's
I was
So that'll
going
be
to ask that there people are playing more than one part
yes,
now.
yes, there
Okay,
is.
so nobody's brought this up yet, but there's something going on with the Ghost of Christmas
Yes,
Past
there
this
is
year.
something
Please
going
tell
on.
us what that is.
I don't want to. I want it to
Yes.
be a surprise.
No, you have to, man.
There's
You know,
ghosts in this?
There's ghosts.
Oh, there's ghosts.
I get scared easily.
See, this is one of the, so there's actually, you know what? Maybe don't. Because you know what? You've already given us a lot of really great stuff, and the fact that it is in the theater, in the 10th Street Theater, you have to change a lot of things. There is a surprise with the Ghost of Christmas Past.
Yes.
That's one more thing. Come to the show and just see it.
Yes.
Just enjoy it.
Nice
Don't
tease,
Yes.
Kyle.
Yeah.
That's a good tease. Well, one of the things
Ghost
that
of Christmas Past tease.
It's a real ghost.
No, after
that
the
it?
ghost. Yes.
Oh,
yeah,
natural
they're
ghost.
they're ghosty.
Yeah.
After 2019, Paul and I talked about how to put more magic into it.
Nice.
And so that's one of the things that we've been working on is putting more magic in.
Visual effects, smoke, light, all
Lots
that stuff.
of, well, yeah. And, Ben was saying to me that the fog machine that they have is built to work in the Valentine.
Right.
So we're going to have a lot
Oh, wow.
of fog.
I was wondering
A
how
lot,
that was
you
going.
know.
Bring a fan.
That's it.
We're Scrooge.
Yes, everybody should bring a fan just so that they can see.
I
you know, it's
love
everywhere.
it. I'm definitely getting in the front row. I'm going to sit in the front row, and I'm going to stare Paul right at him, like 3 feet away from me. Be like,
Yeah.
And
Well,
smoke's going to like completely cover me up.
and most of the smoke is dry ice, by
Right.
the way. So
Yeah.
we have to say that.
It's not real smoke.
No,
some of no. some
Next,
of
you're going to tell me they're not real ghosts.
no,
Oh no.
they're real.
Okay.
They're real.
And there won't be real magic.
Oh no.
Okay.
I don't
Oh,
know. I don't know how magic-y it'll get, but I'm hoping.
All right.
I'm hoping.
Well, we're
So-
excited that the Rep is doing a live show for the Christmas Carol again. No offense to the DVD, but nothing beats live theater, man.
Nothing beats live theater. Nothing
Nothing.
beats live theater. No, that's something that our industry is changing. And of course it is because technology grows and things happen, and we do things in a different way. But no one's ever going to give up live theater because there's nothing like it.
There is nothing like it, and honestly, I wish I had known about it when I was younger and knew how enjoyable it was, and how impressive it is to actually see how much talent is out there, and be like, wow,
Especially in this area.
yeah,
Yeah, we are. We are blessed to have as much talent and to have the number of universities in the area that really support it too. Southeast Michigan, Northwest Ohio has a ton of really fine arts programs, and we don't realize how lucky we are. I said my husband is a professional actor, and he'll talk to people that are from other parts of the country, and they can't believe what we have right here at our fingertips. And people say, well, why did you decide to stay in Adrian? He worked on Broadway, he worked in Vegas. Why didn't you stay there? And I said, because here we have all of this that we can do and still be involved with. And so many of our friends, especially with COVID, they were all just out of work. So we're very lucky to be where we are. Very, very, very blessed.